just get up like he did in Halloween Kills.
Right.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah. And to jump back on Corey, because Corey is the main focus of this movie. I mean, Laurie sees something evil in him.
Later on.
Yeah. Because Corey he's like a babysitter, like Laurie. So it's kind of like, it's kind of like they're retelling the first story a little bit. And, there's an accident because, they're playing hide and seek, kind of. The kid is. And then
Kid's an asshole.
He was an asshole. Then he locks, Corey in there, and Corey freaks out because, he's scared of Michael Myers, which you should be. And, he tries to break out, pops the door, kid flies over the balcony, breaks his neck. Great scene, by the way. Very
brutal. Yeah, brutal.
And then, that pretty much, that's how you kick off Halloween ends, is with,
Yeah,
that, and it's all because Michael Myers didn't do anything, but he did something because of the fear of Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Is why he got in that situation. So Michael Myers is like the cause of this. And Laurie, she's like to blame in this also because they think that she's crazy. Because some people still believe that he's the boogeyman.
Yeah, it's one of those things where even though they haven't seen him in 4 years, the aura of him is still there. And the fact that he could pop up at any time is making people nervous. And, of course, when this happens to the kid and he accidentally, kicks the door and the kid flies over the balcony, of course, now he has developed a reputation of, hey, he's the babysitter killer. Or he's,
kid killer.
The babysitter that killed the kid, yeah.
Yeah.
And
so he becomes kind of the town Michael because Michael's not really in the picture.
Yeah, and he it's the classic tale of bullying. It's the classic tale of pushing somebody and being mean to somebody for something that they didn't mean to do, but nobody cares if you meant to do it or not. It still happened, and they're going to treat you like shit and remind you every chance they get. And a lot of characters in this movie were out to do that to this kid.
Right.
And, it's one of those things where, the more people talk and the more people tell you that you're evil, maybe you actually start to believe it yourself. Yeah. And that's what happened to this kid. Yeah. And, Laurie kind of shows up and tries to kind of be his angel on one shoulder and tell him
give him
that
hope.
Yeah, I sympathize with you. I know what you're going through. I know how you can be the town outcast, the town crazy, because I was. Yeah, I was. And, of course, they have that scene in the movie where, the bullies, like, throw him over the bridge, and then that's when he meets Michael. And, Michael sees something in this kid's eyes. He doesn't kill him, which is unusual for Michael because we're used to Michael being this guy. He's kind of like the shark from Jaws, which is the way John Carpenter has always described him. He has no emotions. He has no rhyme. He has no reason. He just is. He just does it. Same as Dr. Loomis. Look, he was born evil. I've tried to study him for years and years. I got nowhere. Came to the conclusion he was just fucking born evil.
Yeah, he's just pure evil.
He's just
pure evil.
He's just pure evil. However, he sees something in this kid's eyes, which is a break from the typical Michael Myers. And to me, that was interesting. So Michael comes along and is kind of the devil on the other shoulder.
Right.
So now you got this kid kind of stuck. Should he go down this dark path? Or should he, continue to try to be, this nice person, or this person trying to get over a trauma?
Right. Then you will let him get over.
And spoiler alert, He chooses to just kind of embrace it because
he started to embrace it after like he gets like attacked. I mean, by the hobo.
Yeah,
which was kind of a weird scene because like the hobo was like holding a knife to him and threatening him.
Yeah, that one could actually be justified. It was like, hey, it was either him or me.
Right.
But as the film goes on, you can tell that all the rest of it is his choice.
Right.
And, it may be not... It wasn't that one scene where the kid just came to his senses and he was like, okay, this is who I am. It kind of just happened. Mm-hmm. Maybe they could have explained that a little bit better. Maybe there could have been an epiphany scene where he really embraces it. And I think the one scene that kind of like... where it was kind of like that was when Laurie talked to him in the film. Like he woke up in the old house where he killed the kid or accidentally killed the kid.
After his parents kicked him out.
And they have that little conversation. And, when Laurie basically tells him that she's not fucking playing and you better leave my granddaughter alone, that's, I think, was the snapping point, maybe. Mm-hmm. So... yeah, I mean, this guy thought that he was going to be the new boogeyman in town.
Yeah, he started off pretty solid.
He had a fire under his ass to be just that.
Right.
And I mean, he even went back down into the tunnel and beat the shit out of Michael, which some people didn't like. But again, Michael is not in a state that he could take on a young buck like that.
Right.
I mean, plain and simple. So, and a lot of the brutal death scenes in this film came from Corey. Mm-hmm. It came from Corey.
That torch scene was fucking nasty.
Yeah, that was pretty nasty. And, there was a couple scenes in here where Michael and him kind of teamed up together and they were like a slasher duo.
Yeah, which...
it's weird to talk about that this really happened, but that's in the movie.
Yeah.
And
it was Michael kind of like taking him under his wing.
Yeah, it was like that.
Like almost like a Batman and Robin type.
Yeah.
Which is it's kind of weird.
But it all came full circle.
Yeah.
But my biggest takeaway from this, as I was telling you after we watched the film, is that Corey was made into an evil villain.
Right.
Michael was born an evil villain, which there is a significant difference in. And that's why, even though you have this young buck who is driven, who is physically able to do all the things that the young Michael Myers can do and the old Michael Myers can't, he got it. He didn't survive because, to me, he was playing the part. He wasn't the part.
Right. He like where
it goes.
Michael doesn't let emotions rule him.
Right.
Corey got caught up in his emotions, and that's what ultimately got him killed.
Right. And that was my biggest takeaway. My biggest takeaway is going back to the beginning of this conversation when you said this movie really isn't about Michael Myers. It isn't, but it really is.
Yeah.
And I believe the filmmakers gave you this new story, but then took it back and said, okay, here's the real story with the last 20 minutes of the movie.
Right.
That's what I feel like it happened. And going back to the fight scene when Laurie and Michael go at it, I enjoyed it. And the fact of the matter is you have these two characters who are older, they're more fragile, and they're still badass, but...
I don't know what people want. I mean, do you want like a Peter Griffin versus fucking giant chicken fight?
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
I mean, that's not going to fucking happen.
And don't take this the wrong way. The people that haven't seen this and just don't care about spoilers and want to listen to it anyway, Michael gets the best of Laurie the majority of the fight.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's completely weak against Laurie. But, it's just one of those deals where it's like, hey, one false move. Like, it's like in any fight, It's like Anderson Silva, dominating and then, made one mistake and all of a sudden he's fucking got his eyes rolled back in his head. You know what I'm saying? From Chris Weidman. Anyway, that's kind of what happened here, one mistake, boom. And of course, Laurie definitely, had some help with the granddaughter coming in, kind of saving her a little bit. But,
I wish there was more of her in the movie.
The granddaughter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish that they would have explored her character a little bit more.
They kind of teased, like, maybe she was going to, like kind of do this, like, natural born killers, like, love.
Yeah.
Not triangle, but, like, love duo type thing. But they didn't go that route, and then, by the way, if you people didn't know, or we didn't tell you, Corey, stabs himself in the throat.
Yeah, he kind of does one of these, if I can't have her, nobody can.
Which you think that, they go on for a little bit and you think he's going to wind up killing her granddaughter. But he doesn't, so he somewhat offs himself.
Yeah.
Because Michael gets his little payback for, him beating the shit out of Michael.
Exactly, and that was what I was talking about. Somebody who was made evil versus somebody who's born evil. And when that little neck snap happened, that tells you everything that you need to know about how those two would go up against each other.
Yeah.
In the end. But, and this was the end. They took his body, they put him in the...
Fucking, it's like one of the, the metal, grinders.
It was like a grinder that grinds metal. He's dead. It's no coming back.
Yeah, his body is fucking hamburger.
He was dead before he went in. They just didn't take any chances of him possibly waking up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
there's if they ever do another Halloween movie, I don't know how they're going to do it unless they go Season of the Witch route.
Yeah, when I think of the end, I think of this is the end of the Laurie Michael storyline. They always can make another Halloween movie with Michael Myers that doesn't involve Laurie. And to be honest with you, they could do this. They could do some slick shit. You want to know why? Because there's 4 years in between Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. What fucking happened in those 4 years? Did Michael disappear, go somewhere else, and fucking cause some chaos?
It's true. I kind of hope they don't.
Yeah, I kind of hope they don't either. I kind of hope.
I really feel they're going to do a Scream thing if it comes around.
Yeah. James Jude Courtney has already said this is the end for him. This is the end for him. This is the end for Jamie Lee Curtis.
Right.
This storyline has ended. It's over. It's done with. It's controversial. They actually stated that. Jamie Lee Curtis said this months ago. This movie's going to piss a lot of people off. Nobody knew what she meant by this, but
now you do.
Yeah, now you do. They knew. They knew, and I think that they thought that they had a good enough movie to where they thought that it was going to be a lot more pros than cons, but people bitch and people complain.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. And personally for me, as far as a ranking goes, on a scale of 1 to 10,
which is how we're going to rank our movies.
Yeah, James is probably going to stick to the solid numbers. I might do a half here every once in a while, but I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10.
I am going to second that. Actually, I believe that it's a good, solid movie. I think admire them having enough balls